Can you hear me? To everyone, am I audible to you? Okay. Before that, we talked about Java itself and went extensively what is Java and how Java became high. Java is a high-level language and independent programming language, which was on principle of object orientation. We talked about how high-level language is English-like language, and also we talked about the platform independence of Java. And then we went about installing Java into our system, and we downloaded JDK, and we told you that part of JDK we have some important libraries in some components in JDK. JDK is the Java development kit, and inside JDK we have the GRE, and then we have the two important um, tools. Okay, development tools, which are the debugger and the compiler. And we say compiler helps you to compile your codes in a complete go, and debugger helps you to debug the codes. When you are running your code and you find that there's some errors in your code, debugger will help you to debug those codes. If there's no debugger in your code, then how do you want to know where the error is coming from? And these development tools are very important because if you don't have compiler in your JDK, how do you want to compile those particular code that you have written in your um, program files, which are kind of a high level language? Now, I know you have do you have an issue when you downloading Java your system? You have you successfully downloaded Java your system and you run your code in your CMD command after configuration. So configuration, where you have your CMD command and you press Java fin say version. You see the version that is being downloaded on your system. After configuration, just type in Java underscore version and on your CMD command, and you will see the version of Java. I have 11 on my system, so you have 8. You will see the 8 and written this statement. That means Java is successfully installed into your system. So if you don't have Java installed in your system, by the time we download the Eclipse, which is your Eclipse is your notepad where you'll be writing your code. Yeah, it's kind of an editor where you'll be writing your code. So if you don't have Java, Eclipse will not work, or whatever the application that works with Java will not work on your machine because the software operates with the use of Java. Your Eclipse, which we will be downloading in soon, runs on Eclipse. So if we to run the Java on Unix now, talking about platform independence. let me just quickly watch with so much of our time this weekend. So I don't want to go extensively in what we have. Well, in brief, talking about this platform independent, I told you Java is a high-level language that runs some platform of programming language that which works on principle of object orientation and is an independent programming language which works on principle of. So we divided this into three parts, breaking down into definition. We have high level and platform independent. So what made Java platform independent? Now, they say platform independence of Java means the class file of Java can run on any operating system, either Windows, Linux, Mac, and etc. So it was on right one run anywhere principle, which I further explained to you last section. But now let's look at this. If I to further explain how Java become platform independent. Now, if you to run Java on Unix machine, this Linux machine, okay, if you were to run Java on Linux machine, we need to have GRE for it to run to execute anything, any code. If we to run Java on Linux machine, we need to have GRE. We have to configure the part of JDK, as we all did last week. You have to configure the part of JDK into your Linux machine as well. This is mandatory. So when we create production machine, we have to install Java implicitly on production machine. We have to install Java implicitly. So we have to set the path in environmental variable. You see the installation process last week, the week before when we installed Java. So we have to configure the path of JDK in our environmental variable where based on any operating system. So now if my local machine, your system, you just like your machine right now, your computer, if my computer is a Windows machine, I know most of you use Windows or some use Mac. So for instance, now I'm using Windows machine. So if my machine, my system, my computer is a Windows machine, or your company, your production machine is on, or your production machine is on Linux-based machine, when we be downloading JDK for Linux machine, we have to set the Linux compatible. We have to select the Windows that is compatible with the operating system that you are using. Let me say, when you go to oracle.com, now you see we have Solaris, we have Windows, we have Linux, Mac operating system. So when you go to download JDK into your system, you have to download the one that is compatible with your own system. As I showed you last week, I said if you're using 64-bit window, download this. If you when you go to properties files on your machine, I showed that to you last section. So now if my local machine is a Windows machine, if my production machine is a Unix-based machine, when we be downloading JDK, okay, JDK, when we downloaded JDK, which is a Java development kit, the JDK, on different operating system. So now, when we downloaded JDK for Linux machine, we have to select it Linux compatible, okay? The one that is compatible with your own operating system. So now my question is that why we have different packages for different operating systems? Look at this. We have different Linux, Mac, Solaris, Windows. Why do we have different packages for different operating systems? And they say Java is platform dependent. So if Java is platform dependent, why are we having different flavors here? Different packages for different operating systems. Why? Have you ever asked yourself the question? Why are we having these different packages for different operating systems? Now, the reason we have different packages for different operating systems, because if we say that Java is platform independent, why do we have different packages? Reason being that although Java is platform independent, but JVM, okay, JVM is platform dependent. Though Java is platform dependent, I repeat, though Java is platform dependent, but JVM, what is JVM? Java Virtual Machine. This JVM, I told you, is part of what? GRE, right? The JVM is part of GRE. So if Java is platform dependent, then JVM is platform dependent. Because every operating system has different way of processing their commands. Windows operating system has different way of processing its own command. Linux has its own way of processing its own command. Mac operating system, Solaris, as we have here, they all have ways of what processing their own command. So that's why when you go to download your Java, your JDK onto your system, we are going to download your JDK into your system. When you go to download your JDK into your system, you have to download the one that is compatible to your operating system you are using. So that's why I want to explain what makes Java platform dependent. So what Java developer did is that to make Java platform dependent, to make Java platform independent, they created JVM. To make Java platform independent, they created this JVM. Remember, I told you that JVM is part of GRE. All right? Okay. JVM is part of GRE. So what Java people did that they created this JVM. And it makes JVM platform dependent. It makes the JVM platform dependent. That is why we have different Java packages. When you went to oracle.com, you see different packages you have to download, different packages for your own operating system. Though Java is platform independent, but JVM is platform dependent. Java people that develop Java, they make JVM to be platform dependent. For example, if we are downloading the Windows 64-bit on if you are downloading 64-bit Windows on our operating system, we have this. If I download this Windows 64-bit on my operating system, you can see this 64-bit Windows XC. If I download this one 64-bit on my machine, that JVM will be installed on Windows compatible. If we are installing the Linux file. Then on our machine, that JVM will be downloaded, which is Linux compatible JVM. So JVM is present inside GRE, right? JVM is present inside GRE, as you can see. But that Windows that's on that Linux dependent JVM can read the class files. I repeat, I say JVM is present inside GRE. All right? This JVM, I told you, GRE, JVM is there. All right? The JVM, which is present inside GRE, can read class files created on any operating system. Like if we created Java file in Windows, we created Java files in Windows 10 or Windows 11, and we are running the .class file in Linux. We want to run the class files, not in Windows, but want to run it on Linux machine. Linux, we have Linux compatible JVM. That Linux compatible JVM will be able to read the class file which is created on Windows. And that JVM will be converted, that's those created .class file to Linux compatible machine code. Remember, when you compile your code, what happens? GRE comes into the picture. And convert it to what? The machine code. When you compile your code, compiler comes into the picture and converts it to high-level language to byte code. So that one will say that in Linux, we have Linux compatible JVM. That Linux compatible JVM will be able to read the class file which is created on Windows. And that JVM will be converted, that those created .class file to Linux compatible machine code. This is how Java becomes platform independent. Because of JVM. Using JVM, because JVM makes a Java platform independent, but that platform dependent JVM can read the class files created in any operating system. That is the potential work of JVM. And that makes Java a platform independent, because irrespective of the JVM installed on our system, that JVM can read the class file created on any operating system. In case of interview, they ask why Java become platform independent, is through JVM. That's what Java developers did. They created JVM, that any file you download, the JVM is present, because that dependent JVM on Linux machine, compatible file, can read any class file that is being created in any Windows. It converts that particular byte code to the machine code, to the Linux compatible machine code, that Linux can be able to read it, and the interpreter then execute the code. So the beauty of it, why Java becomes platform independent, is through JVM. So though Java is platform independent, but JVM is platform independent, irrespective of any operating system file that is downloaded, then it can read any class file coming from any operating system. If you have any question, you can mute yourself now, ask me before we further continue. If I just want to round up today, so we can move to the next topic next time.
I'm sorry, I have a question. This JVM, are we going to be conscious of it when we are downloading or at our workplace if we are given a system to operate on or to work with?
No, though if you are working in a company, I don't think you're going to have access to a C drive. But if I have
Uh,
access to C drive, you is the administrator that does that download all those things into your system. But irrespective of talking about what is JVM or what JVM you wrote conscious of JVM, no, JVM is already present. The execution that happens is done by it's internally. It does when we run your code in next class. All what you're doing now, we're doing kind of a theory. Then when we're doing the practical, we start understanding what the this you're seeing it practically. But I want you to understand the theoretical aspect of it. But everything is done internally. JVM does all those things. Yeah, I'm not talking about the back end, what happens at the back end. When you run your code, you don't know what's happening. All these things happen at the back end. We're going to see that practically from next section. So JVM is
oh,
present inside Jira because you downloaded JDK, you downloaded Java into your machine. And when you download Java into your machine, you have these two files, as we showed you last week. You have JDK, you have GRE. So inside JDK, which is Java Development Kit, you have your GRE. So the duty to execute any code is of the GRE. Okay? Okay. Now, inside the JDK, inside the Java Development Kit, you have these files in there. GRE and what some important and development tools. What are those development tools? We have the debugger and we have the compiler. I know the beauty of the compiler. It helps you to compile your codes. All right. When you write your code in a high level language, which is read by human, but your computer, your processor does not understand English language. All right. It understands bits 0 and 1. Right. So what it does is that it compiles your code, compile comes into the picture, and convert it to what? To byte codes. And your processor doesn't understand byte code, you understand zeros and ones, it's a machine language. Okay. So then the duty to execute this code, then the JVM, I mean the GRE comes into the picture because the duty to execute your code is of GRE. Then GRE comes into the picture with the help of interpreter because JVM has multiple why I say multiple responsibilities of JVM. Okay. So interpreter is part of JVM. All right. Interpreter is part of JVM. They are all in GRE. So just you understand this when you start doing your practical. It says doing your code, you understand more about all these things, how execution happens. But you're going to be downloading using it. And you're seeing the command to do that before you start downloading your editor. Because when you start working your industry, you start using your editor like your Eclipse, IntelliJ to execute write your code. But I want you to know practically how to do that using your what your CND command, your command prompts. You start saying that all those things. You start saying that practically. Okay, so don't worry about what JVM, but just know what JVM means. Not that you are saying is conscious of JVM. No, it's already present in your kit. It's there already. Okay, so it's his duty to execute those particular code that are written by the developer. So that's our. Do I answer your question? How Java become platform independent?
yes, you do it. Thank you.
Okay. So you can see if I create this file, how Java become platform independent is through JVM. Let me see this. Um, this is what you're going to be downloading next class. I think the class before, but you will have to do it practically first using your don't worry about this. Don't be scared. Don't be get panic. This is your editor Eclipse.
We're still seeing Oracle. We're not seeing what's going on your screen.
Can you see this? The Eclipse
No, 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 just Oracle page.
record page. I don't know why this is freezing up here. See. Can you see this?
Yes, yes, can see it.
Okay, let me open up. Okay, can you see the notepad, right, too?
No,
You can see a notepad.
no, just the public class test.
Okay,
Public static void main. Yes, I can
you
see
can see
the pad now.
notepad now.
Yes.
Okay, you know, if I say, don't worry about the public, don't worry about the static. If I say public test, if I say public class test, open and closing curly braces. Don't worry about that. Don't be panicking. You understand that the one we start doing practically. But how Java become platform independent? You know, for example, we have created a file called this is if I to save this file, save as you can see this all files, then I want to save it to I say this is but in high level is that anything I'm going to save here is going to be in dot class. It's going to be in text, any name of this is going to be test dot what dot java. Okay. So any file you want to save here, okay, is going to be test.java because this is the name of this particular um class is test class. But that should be the next section I want to take, but you don't want to get you confused. But I just want to say that, for example, if we create a file, test.java, and we create in a Windows machine that will compile this file. Okay, let me not go into this depth for now. All right. Okay. So when what happens when you compile the file? What happens when you compile it? What happens in compilation? What happens when you compile a particular high level language? Like this is just like a high level language, right? You can see the screen, the black screen of Java Eclipse.
Yes.
Okay. So what happened is that what we are written here is in human readable form. You know what system is, you know what public is, you know what static. This is like English like main, string, text. This is like English like language. Okay. So your processor doesn't understand these things. So when you create this file, any file you created here is going to be .java as an extension. I want to save my notepad. If I want to save my notepad here, this, if I say save as, save, you see this is .text. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay, you can see that this is .text. We have different text files. We have in Python, we call it py.py, in php.php, docs. It's an extension of that particular file you want to save. Extension of that any file you want to save. TX, there, .tx, notepad.tx, txt, python.py, php.php, javascript.json, xml.xml. Different files are different text files. So in Java, if you any written words you wrote in Java, it's saved in .java as an extension. It's a high level language, right? English like language. So we create a Windows machine. If we create this file, we create this file in a Windows machine. Now this file we created, this language we wrote it in Windows machine. We create a file called text.java. Text is the name of that particular file, and Java is an extension because it's a high level .java as an extension. And we created a Windows machine. Then we compile this particular file that's written in window. So what happens in compilation? Compile. What happens after compilation? The syntax. What happens after compilation? The syntax can be checked and a new file will be created. Forward text.class. And this text.class will contain a code written in a byte code. Okay, so look at this, I hope you can see the Eclipse back again, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you can see the Eclipse. Now, look at this. How many lines of code do I have here?
You have one line of code, or
How many lines of code in all?
in all, one, two,
Yeah,
three, five.
five. Okay, you're counting
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no. What of the all this? You understand this later on, okay?
Okay.
This is 14 lines of code. Look at this one. This is a line of code. This is a line of code. This is another line of code. All these lines are all code because there's space here.
That's
So you
number
see,
one.
count them. Number one, count it. There's space there. Space.
Ah,
Count at the spaces, okay? Space. There's two here. There's space here. There's space here. There's something here. All right. There's something here. There's space here. There's space here. There's space. Then 14 on the parentheses. Parents. Curly braces. Curly. All right. It's a curly braces. There's space here. So yeah, I have I have 14 lines of code. So all written code compiled, the compiler will compile this complete 14 lines of code. The compiler compile these 14 lines of code. And we check all the 14 lines of code as per the rules. As per what? As per the rules. If your code is according to the strict syntax rules of Java, then compiler compiles the 14 lines of what? Of code that you have written. Also bring back to the Eclipse. I don't know if you're seeing the Eclipse. I don't know, it's not true. Can you see the Eclipse now? The Eclipse window, right?
yes, I can.
Okay. Now, so what compile does is to compile the 14 lines of code and the syntax of Java and check it as per rules and the syntax of Java. You know, every language has a grammar, right? If as per the rules and language of grammar, there's no syntax error. Like here now, if I make this in capital letter P, which I'm going to type to you, this is what we're going to enter in next class. You see that you have a compilation error. Okay? You see that if I mouse over this now, it's a syntax error on token public. Public should be what? Capital letter. You see? This is capital T, but it should be what? It should be small letter. You will understand this later on. So what that's what the compilation does. Is give it compilation error. Okay, so what compilers do is that when you write this in your high-level language, compilers come into the picture and check if it's as per the rules and the syntax of Java. But the interpreter, what does it do? The interpreter is part of what? The GRE. The interpreter is part of what? JVM. JVM has what? Two important tools in JVM. Files in JVM. We have the what? GRE. We have JVM and what? Some important libraries. Okay, we have JVM. We have some important libraries inside GRE. And the duty to execute of code is of GRE. And inside that GRE, we have JVM. Okay, and JVM has what? Multiple functionalities. JVM does multiple things in JVM. Inside JVM, we have the what? We have the interpreter. The interpreter is part of JVM. So what I'm saying no share is that execution is about to happen. You compile your code, and these 14 lines of code is by the rules and grammar and the syntax of Java. Now, but the interpreter always execute the code at runtime. You want to run this code at runtime, line by line. It will read this line 1, to read the line 2, 3, it gets to 4, you understand what 4 is, execute it, then 5, all this up to point 14. So that's what the interpreter does. The interpreter always execute the code at runtime, line by line. Compiler compile the complete code. When you write your language, when you write your code in a high-level language, which is not understood by the processor, your computer, your PCU doesn't understand the processor. All this you have written, it doesn't understand it. So then the compiler comes into the picture. So compiler will compile this complete code in a single go. But interpreter, which is part of JVM, okay, we execute the code line by line and give you the desired output. I hope you understand this. Tachoma, do you have any question? I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. I don't have any
Okay,
question.
all right. So that is it. The duty of to execute every code is of the what? The JVM, which the interpreter is part of JVM. GRE is those files that's JVM and interpreter they're in. Okay. So now you hear about class files, source files, these files, and all these files. So further I explain to you what these files is. All right. Now in Java, we have two files in Java. Java files comprised of what? Two files. We have the Java source files and Java class files. Java source files and Java class files. So when we create, it says source files are simple text files in which we write our source code. Like when I showed you the notepad, that's when you save that particular file, you have to use it as .java. Okay, so that shows that this is a Java file, a source file. So we call it source file, where the source, the code, your code is coming from, is called source file. All right, where you write your code, you save it as .java. So source files are simple text files in which we write our source code, your high-level language. Okay, and save them with extension of .java. Nick, I hope you are listening. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm following.
Right. So we first create .java files where we write code. Where you are writing your code, where your source is coming from, is called dot. You save it at dot. When you want to save it, you save it at .java. Okay, where we write the code, and once we compile the code, we get the class file. Okay, when you write a file, when you write a code and save it in the Java file, then you want to compile, you compile those code, compiler comes into the picture and converts it to what? To bytecode. That bytecode is what we call, is a form of the class files. Okay, compilation happens. When compilation happens, it will not compile to .java file again. No. Okay, when compiler comes into the picture, it converts it to .class files. You have other files, which is .class files. Because there are two classes in Java. Java source file and Java class files. Source file is where you write your code. When you compile it, you get class files. So Java class files are just compiled version of these source files, which is generated by compiler. Previous section, remember what I said, previous section. Compiler comes into the picture and converts it to what? To bytecode. So that bytecode you are saying is .class files. Once we compile the code, we get the class files. But we have to make sure that whatever file we have with the Java extension, all those are called source file. As you can see here, source file are simple text file in which we write our source code. That's source file. Simple text file in which we write our source code and save them in with extension of what? .java file. We should never, okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't ever call Java file as class files. No. The interview, you say we are rejected in your interview, we don't do when you mentioned a Java file as a class file. No. Okay? We should never call the Java file as the class file. Java file is the source where you are written your code. Once compiler comes into the picture, the .java file using your source file, we get the .class file. That class file should call the what? The .class file. Okay, so when compiler comes into a picture, it compiles this source file and you get your .class file. So in Java, this .class file is executable. This is one that JVM will do what? We execute. Interpreter will then give you the output. When compiler comes into the picture, you get bytecode. Those bytecode is what you call .class file. And those class files are executable. Java's file is not executable. It is the .class file, this one right here, that is executable. That the GRE, the JVM comes into the picture and converts it to what? From bytecode to machine code, and the interpreter will give you the output, as I shall explain last section. So in Java, I repeat again, in Java, .class file is executable, but .java file is not executable. I hope I make myself clear. Any question? This is going to be practical, theoretical, right? By next time, we're going to be having it practical. I want you to get it, the theoretical aspect of it. So when you start writing your code, you understand what you are doing. All right? Any question?
No question for me.
Okay. Now, your question is, my question is, why you guys are doing manual testing and some of you are going to the market as a manual QA analyst. So why do you need automation engineering? You know, automation as you need to know one programming language. And then so you can run it automatically by using Python, Java, C#, using Selenium. Selenium is that automation tool that used to execute, to run automation on different web applications. So now that Selenium is saying, why do you need Java in Selenium? Selenium, that particular automation tool, is a language binding. What I mean by language binding is that you understand every languages. If you are coming from Java, Python developer, you can use Selenium. If you're a Python developer, you can use Selenium. If you are C#, coming from C#, I won't be able to use Selenium because I already knew C# programming language. No, they can use Selenium because that's what I mean by it's language binding. So why do we need Java in Selenium itself? Because using the flow of the hoops, I told you about one of those, we're going to talk about the hoops concept in Java. One of the hoops concept in Java is, when I told you that Java is what? Java is basically a high-level language, independent programming language, which works on the principle of object orientation. Object orientation. All right? That's what they call the hoops concept of Java. Because using the flow of the hoops object orientation, the hoops concept, we can control the flow of test cases. Some of you that have You know what test case is when you're writing your test cases and test scenarios and all those stuff. So you use the flow of the test cases because Selenium is just a tool that handles the web application on your browser. It's just a tool that handles the web application. Like if you want to create any, if you want to click, okay, like if you want to click on any button, like in your, this is your submit button. I mean, you have seen that in your browser, right? You have you have your username, you have your password. Okay, so you want to click after like putting your username and your password. You want to click on all those. You don't need to do this manually. So Selenium does that. It's an automation too. So you can, these are all those things you see on your website. Like you have your sign in, you have your notification. All those things are web elements. They are objects. Okay, they are objects. So So Selenium is just a tool that handles the web applications. Like if you want to click on any button on any link in your website. So we also know that Java is an object orientation programming language. Last phase of what we're going to talk today. Let's talk about high level language. We talk about platform independent, right? You all know what platform independent, right? Java become platform independent to what JVM. Okay. So now the object orientation. Why do you need Java in Selenium? And I told you that because using Selenium using the flow, using the use concept, we can control the flow of test cases because Selenium is just a tool that handles the web application. Like if you want to click on any button or any link in our website. So we also know that Java is an object programming language, which means in Java, we do provide objects like we spot something. It's just like an object. All this is out in your website is just like an object, web elements, like objects. So we spot something using objects. When we create a method, we create using objects. Everything that is done in Java is done using objects. What happened when we're writing code in Java? We create what happened when we're writing codes in Java? As I showed you on my Eclipse here, I know you don't understand more, but don't worry, don't get panic. You understand there. Like when we create something in Java, we create different things in Java. We create classes in Java. Okay. We create like I show you test class, you create methods, you do numerous of things in Java though. So all those things are like objects, like things we can create. Okay. So when we're writing our code in Java, we create classes. We have to create variables. Okay. When I told you last time in our first demo class, I was telling about int var equals to 10. Okay, which 10 is just like a bucket, a variable whereby where execution happens, this 10 will be stored here, as I showed you in my Eclipse. Okay, so those are variables, but you understand that they are. So we create a lot of numerous of things in Java. Okay, we create Java, we create classes, we create variables, we create methods, we create files where we install, we put our things. Pardon, please. Am I listening? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Just have some. Okay. So as I was saying, I say you export a lot of things on your web elements, your websites. So all those things you see on your website, they are all web elements and they are like objects. So Java is just object, is an object orientation programming language. So anything you click is basically an object. So in Java, you create classes, you create methods, you create files where you store your kind of your test cases, you put in your source files and all those, you do a lot of things in Java. So we create a lot of things. We create variables, we create local variables, we create static variables. You're going to understand this later on. A lot of them in Java. So when we create these classes and methods, we have to provide name for those components. Okay, as well. Like if we create a class, when I said, when I told you here, when I was doing something like this, I said public, sorry, public class test. Don't get panic with it. So this is a class, and the name of this class is test class. But when you start doing practically, you understand that I don't want to let you just in a high level. So when we create those classes and methods, we have to provide name to these components. These are notable components in Java. Okay. So this is name of this class. The name of this class is test class. All right. So the name of this class is what we call test class. So you have to provide name to those to this Java component. So we create a lot of things in Java. We create a lot of variables in Java, components in Java, methods, static variables in Java. So all those things, they are called Java components. All right. So you have to give a name to those Java components, methods, variables, static variables, interfaces, constants, and classes. These are nothing but Java components. So when we create those classes and methods, we have to provide name to those components as well. Like if you create a class, I just showed to a public class text. So the name of that class is text. So that class is nothing but Java components. Variables, those are Java components. Methods, you create methods in Java. Those are components of Java. Okay, so you have to provide name to those Java components. If we create variable, we have to provide a name to those variables. So similarly, if we create a method, we have to provide a name to those methods. So in Java, identifiers are legal name of the Java components. Classes are Java components. Methods are Java components. So identifiers are nothing but the legal name of what Java component. The Java components can be variables, classes, method, interfaces, and all those. Which means the name that you provide to your variables or classes or method, that name is known as what? Identifiers. Identifiers means the name to which you are going to identify that Java components. When I said public class Java component, right? The name of this is, provide the name of this class as text, is text class. So this is a legal name. You have to provide a name to this Java component. And that name you provide to Java component are nothing but what? Identifiers in Java. So the name to which you are going to identify that Java component. Let's say we have a variable and we have to identify that variable. So the name of the variable will be identified by the name of the component. So let's say you have a friend. Okay, you have a friend. How do you identify your friend? Nick, how do you identify your friend? Through his name?
Yes, through his name.
So how do you identify your friend's home? Using his
The
address.
address, yeah.
So similarly, how are we going to identify Java components in Java? By the name of the Java component. And that name is nothing but what? Identifiers in Java. So that brought us to this topic today. Identifiers are nothing but the legal name in which you identify those Java components. Any question? Okay. And that is where we're going to end it for today. So that brought us to the next, this slide of very important what we have today before end of the class. All right. So the rules for naming this identifier, what are those rules for naming these identifiers? Okay. That brought us to the end of this class today. So we're going to understand this thing very, very carefully. All right. This is very important. This slide is saying, this what is the next slide is, this next slide is saying is that we have some rules. What this next slide is saying is that we have some rules to provide a name to these identifiers. You cannot provide any name to those identifiers. To any identifier, you cannot provide any name. There are certain rules you have to follow. So this slide is the most important of today's class before we end this section for today. So can anyone tell me what are reserved keywords? What do you mean by reserved keyword? They say Java reserved keyword cannot be used as an identifier. For example, the public, starting void, main, and etc. You can see this. You can't use as an identifier. Public, starting void, main, string, array, arguments. You can't use this as an identifier. Okay? Like now, Nick, I hope you can see the black screen, right?
Yes, I can.
Now, I say int var equals to 10. Int var equals to 10. What is this identifier here? In this int var, which is, can you someone tell which is the identifier here?
10.
No, no, not 10. Is var, this is a
Oh,
variable. This is a
sorry.
variable.
It's
But don't
variable.
worry, yeah, you understand the level, don't worry about it. Okay. So now if I say, if I come here and okay, this will follow explain to you. Okay, then this is okay. Say any okay, the the rules is telling you that the rules is saying that Java reserved keywords cannot be used as identifier. It's probably static void, main, string, array, and whatever. Okay. Now, if I say here, okay, int var. Okay, now let me take here. This is public, right? Okay, let me put this public here. What is, you say error right here, right?
Yes.
Now, if I mass over this thing now, what do you say? Syntax error on token, public invalid variable declarator ID is not compilation is telling you, compilation error. You see that? So that's what the rule. And rules are not recommended, they are mandatory. That's why I have to know these rules. Okay? Rules are not recommended, they are mandatory. Okay? So say Java reserved keywords cannot be used as identifier. They need to use to identify those Java components. Okay? Public static void main, you can't use this as identifier. And then use number of them anyway. Okay. So what do you mean by predefined? What do you mean by predefined word? Can someone tell me what do you mean by predefined? What are predefined words in Java? Anyone can tell me what reserved keyword? What do you mean by reserved keywords? Sorry. What are reserved keywords in Java?
Is that the public static
Yeah, it's a
void?
public. Yeah, they are reserved. Yeah, they are part of it. Okay. Reserved keywords is nothing but predefined words in Java. They are predefined. Okay. And we have loose number of them anyway, but don't need to mug up all these things. All right. We have loose number of them. Let's see from here. All these are all reserved keywords in Java. You can't use them as an identifier. It's my say Java reserved keywords. You see that? If I go and see all this is here. You see Astra, Asa, Boolean, break, byte, see all this, these are, you see this int, you see all this thing, you can't use them as,
Able to see your screen, please.
you can't see my, just swap on this. Can you see that now?
Yes. You've gone back again. Yeah, it's okay now.
Now I want to show you the Google page. I'll just show to you right now. Can you see Google page?
No, seeing Java page, this Eclipse. No, we're seeing the Eclipse.
Yeah, I don't want to say, I don't really see show me resume. I know you can see it right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, these are loose numbers of them, but you don't need to work with all these things. You say this, but you say do double enum x. But when you start doing, you understand, you see the public, okay? You see all this public. So you can't use this. There are loose number of them anyway. So we have loose number of them for Java reserve keywords, okay? So you don't need to mock up all these things. These words you cannot use as identifiers. You see all these words, you can't use them as identifiers. Like in normal life, we say father. Father is a predefined word, all right? Father is a predefined words. Mother, they are predefined words. Mother is mother, okay? So similarly in Java, predefined words cannot be used as identifiers to use to identify any Java components, okay? So I'll show by my screen. Can you see the rules for naming identifiers on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now I say Java reserved keywords cannot be used as identifiers, public static void, main, screen, array. And then one thing I want to make you understand that all reserved keywords in Java begins with what? Small letters. You can see that all Java reserved keywords begins with what? A small letters. I want to show about the you can see this they're all small letters, right? You can see that final, you can see
Yes.
public here, right? They're
Yes.
all small letters. So just have a back reminder. All reserved keywords in Java begins with a small letters. Okay? That's one thing you should know. All reserved keywords in Java begins with a what? With a small letters. Then going back to the rules again. I hope you can see that. Rules for naming identifiers.
No. Yes, but you move the screen. Okay, yes.
Okay. So they said the first character of an identifier should be alphabet character. A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character that's underscore. Any number or special character is not permitted. First character of an identifier should be an alphabetical character A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character. Any number or special character is not permitted in any case. The third rule said, after first character, other characters can be combination. After first character, other characters can be combination of what? Dollar symbol, underscore, A to Z, or number 0 to 9. Okay? So, and again, Why using this alphabetical character? You can use capital letter or small letter, it doesn't matter. Okay? The third rule said after first character, other characters can be what combination of dollar symbol A to Z, 0 to 9 numbers. First character of an identifier should be alphabetical character, A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character, that's underscore. So I'm saying to you that why using alphabetical character, you can use what? Capital letter or small letter, it doesn't matter. And the fourth one says special characters are not permitted at any case. Special characters are not permitted at any case, except this, apart from this dollar and underscore, no other special character is permitted. Number one, rules for naming identifiers. Java reserved keywords cannot be used as what? As an identifier. Public, static, void, main. And I told you we have loose number of them, list of Java keywords. We have abstract, we have insert, we have boolean. It says public. And I want to let you know that have it at the back of your mind that every reserved keywords, all reserved keywords in Java begins with what? Small letters. All reserved keywords in Java begins with what? A small letter. Second rule is a first character of any identifier should be alphabetical character A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character, underscore. Any number of special character is not permitted at any case. So the fourth one, you say special characters are not permitted in any case. That means apart from this dollar symbol, underscore is not one is permitted. I hope I make myself clear. Our rules are not recommended, they are mandatory. Okay? Rules have to be strictly followed. Strictly followed. You can mute yourself before ending class. Anyone have any question?
When you are writing the code, and you are carried away and you made mistake on any of
Compiler will
these.
tell you. As you do, I just told public, I say that you threw an error. Even when you want to run it, you say a syntax error. Don't worry, you start doing practically. Don't worry, you see all this. You will try to do your permutation combinations. All right. You see what you are doing. You say when you try to write the right code, compilation will not compile as if your syntax is not as written as per the rules and grammar of Java. Compilation will not happen. It will not compile. It will say compilation error. When I change the public, I put the public int public equals to 10. What happens? It throws an error. It said this is not, it cannot be used. This is illegal. That's illegal. Illegal. Okay. When I said int can you see the X, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. If I say int, they say and Java reserve key can use this as an identifier. Okay. Okay. Now you said int public, which is small letter, right? Now if I say if I said int capital letter P, and Java is case sensitive, is case sensitive, right? So you look at if I say int public, what happened? Do you say any error?
Yes.
There's no error. There's no red mark here.
Yeah, there's no red mark.
Yes, sir, because it's a capital letter. But this one is a small letter. I told that all Java reserved predefined keywords begins with a small letters. Okay? So if I make it small letters, you see, you have compilation error. You see that? Compiler is saying that this is illegal. It's not about syntax as the rules and syntax of grammar of Java. Okay, so compilation will not happen. Java after step processes. You write your code, you compile your code. You want to compile your code, compilation will not happen. If your code is according to strict, and your code is not according to the strict syntax, that's not a syntax error. Okay, you have syntax error there, compilation error. If your code is according to the strict syntax rules of Java, then compiler compiles the code and convert it to bytecode. And that bytecode is what we call the class, which is executable. Okay? Which is not understood by human being. Only machine can understand it. So the interpreter with the help of JVM, you start doing, it's going to be a bit theoretical, but you start doing your practical next class. Okay? So that's what we have. Okay?
Okay, this hint, can it be capital letter I? Will it accept it?
Int.
Yes.
That int is integer.
Yes, I know. Can you start with capital letter I? Will it accept it?
I told you, what did I say that all Java reserve keywords? I mean, rules or naming the identifiers. Okay, if you go here, okay, start doing, follow the rules. Rules are not, it's, I don't know, can I share my screen so you can see? About to the Eclipse again. Can you see that? Okay, you can see the Eclipse.
Yes. Int, yeah.
You see that?
Yes.
When you start doing practically, you understand, but you need to understand the rules. Rules are not, it's a what kind of int is this? When you mouse over, what did it tell you? You say that when you mouse over, it said int cannot be resolved to a type. Create class. So there is, I don't want to go into detail, but you understand what there is. There's when you try to do your polymorphism in Java, and you understand what kind of int you are trying to use. Okay. So don't worry about this. I won't explain that to you. But you can't say this is normal int, this is an integer. Okay, integer value, int. And so if you go here, you see this?
No, I can't see her. We are still seeing
Oh,
the eclipse.
you see the eclipse.
Okay.
See that? So there are reserved keywords in Java. You can't use them. There are no number of them. Sure, public, protected, private, all those if. You can't use as identifier. And I told you that all reserved keywords begins with a word in small letters. That's why you can't use that capital letter INT.
So if you use them, it becomes a class, yes?
It doesn't talk to a class. Is class these are reserved keywords. That's the first rule. You understand the first rule I just told you?
Yes, what I mean
Yeah.
is if you use capital letter, does it mean that it becomes the eclipse you want you to will try to make it like a class instead of
No, you're not trying to create a class anyway. It's not a class. Don't worry, that's going to be our next. Don't you'll understand what class. That's when we'll go to jump into to explain what class and objects are. But this I just try to use or limit identifiers. Identifiers are the legal name used to name those Java components. The first rule that I told you that these are all Java reserved keywords cannot be used. These are reserved keywords.
okay.
Yeah, these are reserved keywords. You can't use them. And all reserved keywords begin with a small letter. And now you're saying int var, and you're making your int to be capital letter I. No, it's not more reserved keywords anymore. You're saying
Okay.
int var. So int is you also say integer because that number you want to store what integer is. Integer and data types. in Java. This is going to be a nice topics, okay? So integers are data type which defines the type of the value. What value do you want to install into that var? Var is just like a bucket, okay? Variable, okay? Int var equals to 10. So that type, that var, integer are data types which defines the type of the value and the size of the value. Okay? So don't worry about it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take time to talk about integer data types in Java. But you need to understand the laws, the rules governing these languages. Okay, Java is a language, it's a programming language. Okay, so you need to understand those rules and you'll get there. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So before we end the class, we have someone wants to leave assignment classwork. And okay, let's say this. Can you tell me which of the following identifiers are expected to give you compilation error when you just want to compile your code, you're writing your code, and you wrote this? Is it going to be valid or invalid? I've already given you the answer here. This is valid. All right, so don't worry about it. So number one is valid, right?
Yes,
Okay. Why is it valid?
because you follow the rule.
Java number two is from the second rule. It says first character of an identifier should be alphabet character A to Z, dollar symbol, underscore, first character, first. And the first character we have here is what? Underscore. So is it
Yes,
valid or invalid? It becomes what?
valid.
Valid.
Valid. So second rule, what is number second rule? Is it going to be compilation error or not?
Yes, it will give
Valid
you
or invalid?
invalid. Invalid.
Valid, invalid.
Wait, is that a number or okay?
0 to 9, 0 to 9. Is it going to give compilation error or not?
Invalid.
It's valid.
Yes.
Satchuma, is it valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Oh, it's valid. Look at the second one. We say which, he said
Number.
first character of an identifier should be alphabetic character A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character. Number third rule say after first character, other character can be combination of
Okay,
what?
yeah, valid. Number 3 is valid.
Number two, not number three. After he said, look at, I say, he said number three, say after first character, other character can be combination of dollar symbol, underscore, A to
A to
Z,
Z
0 to
and
9.
0 to 9.
After first character. So here we're having first character to be 0 to 9. So Satchuma is right, it's invalid. First character cannot be numbers. Okay, Nick.
So
Yes.
I'm right
First
then.
character, yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
First characters
I'm looking
cannot be
at it
what?
here.
Yeah, cannot be numbers.
That's
Number.
Right? Look
that's
at the
one.
rules very, very well. Yeah. So the fourth one, third one is what? A to Z. A to Z, is it valid or invalid?
I think it's invalid because it's capital letter.
Okay. Look at look at these rules here. They said first character of an identifier should be alphabetical character A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character. I will put it right here. Maybe I have to edit this and tell you that again. I told you that. I said, why using alphabetical character? You can use capital letter or small letter. It does not matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that one is what? Is
It's
valid.
valid.
It's valid, yeah. It's valid. So number 4, my $20 notes. Is it valid or invalid?
It's valid.
My $20 notes. Is it valid or invalid?
It's valid.
First character of identifier should be what? Alphabetic character A to Z, right? And this is A to Z. Why using this capital letter or small letter, it does not matter. So this is first character is capital letter, is
It's
alphabetical character.
capitalism.
So, and you can also use connection character after all those things, and dollar symbol is allowed, right? They said after first character, other characters can be what? Combination of what? Dollar symbol, underscore, and we have dollar
Underscore.
symbol.
Yeah.
So it's valid. Tutor underscore pathway. Number 5, is it valid or invalid?
Mhm.
After first character, other characters can be combination of dollar symbol, underscore, A to Z, 0 to 9. Special characters are not permitted at any case. So 5, valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid.
Invalid. Why is it invalid?
Because there's a special character
What is the special character?
underscore.
No, look at.
No, we have underscore. I
Not
think it's
underscore.
valid though.
Look at your laws again, rules. After first character, other characters can be combination of what? Dollar symbol,
Dollar
underscore.
underscore. It's
Yeah.
valid.
So here we have special character, which is what? Alphabet, right? It's valid. Underscore, it follows the rule, right? Pathway9.com. It makes it invalid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, .com. Okay.
No special.
Okay,
apart from dollar symbol and underscore, any other one makes
So
invalid.
the dot is a special character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it valid. So number 6, valid or invalid?
What is that?
Is
That's
that underscore?
it's underscore, long underscore. Just like there is
Yeah,
space.
it's valid now.
Yeah, it's valid. Yeah.
Longest
So
one.
number 7, valid or invalid?
Valid.
Such one is valid or invalid?
It's valid.
All right, that is it. So we want to draw the code for today. I hope you guys are now understanding. So I'm going to send this video to you so that you can. I mean, these rules are not they're not recommended, they're mandatory, right? So we know there are 3 steps in Java. We write the code, you compile the code, and you execute. The duty to execute a code is of GRE, and GRE is JVM is part of the GRE, and a lot of interpreter helps to execute that particular code. So when you compile your code, and Java has 2 files in Java, we have the source file and the class file in Java. Source file is the source where you are writing your code, okay, and which you save it in .java as an extension. Every file has its own extension. We have text, TS for Notepad, we have PHP.php, Py.py for Python, XML.xml, JSON, .json. We have different text files for different files. So in Java, when you write a code in source folder, you have to save it in .java file. We start doing that practically in the next section. So when you write that code, then compiler comes into the picture to compile your code as if your code is as per the rule and grammar written by syntax of grammar of Java. Then compilation will happen. Nick, you can see that when we're trying to compile those code, you write instead of public, you need to follow those rules. You write capital letter int p. Small letter is not compiled because you don't follow the rules. So compilation will not happen. You get compilation error. So if your rules and your code is written by rules of Java, then compilation will happen. Then those source files will now be converted to what we call class files. You get the class file. You start doing that practically next section. So it converts to .class files. And those .class files are in form of bytecode. You're going to see that physically, you see everything. So those bytecodes is the one that is executable. The Java files is not executable because your processor does not understand English language. You understand the machine language, zeros and one. Okay, so now your Java file has been converted to the class file under classification of files in Java, which is that the class file, which is the one that is executable and is in form of bytecode. Then your GRA, there's the duty to execute your code is of the GRA. Then of the this is the form of the JVM comes into the picture, and the help of interpreter will then give you the desired output. Compiler compiles the codes in a single go. The interpreter will execute those codes line by line. All right. So you're going to be seeing that practically in the next section. Do you have any question before we round up for today? Nick, any question?
And I wanted to ask a question, but since we are going to start doing the practical, then I'll just wait. Maybe it will be answered there.
Okay. Okay. If you say so, okay. All right. So we have a good one. We'll wrap up today. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.